Welcome back, everyone. I'm just making a quick video on how to make dowels today. That's right, just make your own dowels from home. It's super easy. I'm not using any complicated jigs. I'm not using the chisel technique. I'm not using the technique where you just drill a hole through a piece of metal and fire away. So let me go ahead and show you how I make them, and then I'll give you a close-up of the item that I'm using. So I got my stock and a drill here. Tapered the end a little bit there. Stick it in this thing and fire away. Very nice. All right. So what you saw there is all real time. So that was the actual speed of making these dowels, which is really quick. There are obviously many different ways to make dowels, and I just love this method because all it is a nut with some grooves cut into it. Now, the way you cut those grooves is obviously extremely important, and I'll show you exactly how I did that in just a second here. But the reason I like this is because this is all it is. It's easy for me to store in my little toolbox, and when I go to use it again, all I have to do is clamp it into this vise, and it's ready to go. I don't have to fiddle around with my chisel trying to get the angle just right, and I don't have to make any complicated jigs for routers or table saws or anything like that. Now, this dowel is 5/16, which works really well for what I'm using it for, which is just some basic dowel joinery or just plugs for covering up screws. So how do you make this thing work? Well, basically, you decide what size you want, you get your drill bit, and you have to make sure that the nut is small enough that you're able to drill out all the threads. Because the threads, I just found, complicated things and cause too much damage to the dowel. So once you figure out your size, start by drilling out the threads. Then get a cutoff wheel for your grinder, something like that, or a hacksaw. Put this thing sideways like this, and just cut this groove in like that. Right through the nut there. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. So that's 2 steps. Drill your hole, cut that groove through the nut there, and then let me just zoom in here. Basically, what you're trying to do is create a little burr or a spur right there, so that when the dowel is spinning around, this little thing is doing all the shaving. So the way to create that is basically, I filed this section all the way around down, and it kind of tapers down, so it slopes lower and lower and lower as you go this way. And this burr or spur, sorry, I don't know what to call this thing, it only sticks out about 2 millimeters. You can probably tell there by the width of my pencil lead there. And I also found that sharpening this at a curve, you can see it's kind of curved there, that worked better than a sharp edge. So I had originally made this with a square file, and I found that it was just taking too many chunks out of the dowel, just kind of tearing through the wood rather than shaving it. So then I filed it down with just a round file, and it worked like 10 times better. And just so you guys know, there were many failed attempts here. It took me about 3 days to figure this out, actually. A lot longer than expected after making the first one. Which one was it? This was my first one, actually. And it wasn't too bad. I actually made a short video on this one, but I found that it was just a little bit too slow, and it got clogged up. And then I went down the rabbit hole on trying to make this one better, which led to all of these. And finally, 3 days later, this one. So that's it for now, guys. I hope that helps you out with making your own dowels at home. Probably experiment with some larger sizes in the future, but for now, this is all I need, so this is all I'm going to do. If you try out some bigger ones, let's say 3/8 or 1/2 inch, let me know how it goes. I'm curious to know if it works out for you. All right, thanks for watching, and see you next time. Very nice.